I'm playing Siggy as my captain,
There
without doubt. He hasn't scored in the first two. He's going to score.
Some good luck wishes. Dominic Ball, Nathan Ottawa, who I think had a really good game here for Rangers. Was it today? Yesterday?
Today.
Today.
They won 5-0, I think.
5-1. 5-1.
5-1? 5-1 was it?
Our good friend Rob White was at the game.
Yep.
Some lovely pictures. And,
He was. Very
I think
cool, right?
Ottawa did the rainbow. It was great to look at, but obviously he didn't get it on the other side. But nice bit of skill. I'm sure the manager ripped him a new one for trying to do that.
Yeah, that's a very un-Scottish thing to pull, right? Can he do a rainbow, son?
I'm surprised the defender didn't break his leg.
Right? Seriously.
You're not fucking doing that, man.
So Dom,
that's. I mean, that was the big thing that Neymar did that everyone gave him shit for. You know, so.
You don't do that in Scotland.
Hey, Sam, can I just make a point? Scotland is north of Tyneside, just so you know, mate.
Sam failed geography.
Sam, man.
Fairness, I was
top
4 beers in. I was 4 beers in when I said that, but that's inexcusable. I agree.
All right, so Dominic and Nathan off to Rangers. Wish them luck. Grant Ward, who we got to watch play in Chicago last year, is now at Rotherham United. Shaq Colthurst, who I am very high on as a future striker for our club, off to Wigan this year. Connor Ogilvie is off to Stevenage.
I hate Wigan. I hate Wigan.
Wigan is, I think, the wrong place for him to be playing.
Yeah. I'm surprised that he actually accepted that loan.
That was if you're going to be playing in the championship, in my mind, as a striker, I think Derby.
Yeah, but Wigan are in League One. They're bottom in League One.
Yeah.
They are in League One. Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
they got relegated last season.
Yeah.
They did. I completely fucking forgot. How the fuck is he in League One?
I think he'd have more fun playing in our U21s.
I had a lot of respect for Chris Miller at Windy Coys Fighting Cock, and then I think he's right. I mean, we got to see a little bit of him in the Audi Cup. I don't think he's not going to be a long-term Spurs player.
No, he's not. He's not.
I don't think he's that good. Ottawa's the one that I'm actually intrigued about.
So this is one of the things we were talking about before the show. I think Ottawa to Rangers, to me, doesn't make sense. I would have sent him to, say, a lower half Bundesliga or even, a lower half Prem. I think Ottawa's almost ready. And I think that second tier in Scotland is not where he should be playing.
He's getting comparisons to Pogba.
Well, there's a reason why he went to Rangers.
Which is ridiculous at this point. That's absurd.
There is a reason why he went to Rangers. There's a very friendly, Spurs-friendly manager.
Forman,
Yeah, because wasn't he was where did he come from? He just took Pritchard up, and they fired him, right? And is that where he is now?
Yeah,
Do I have that right?
Oh,
yes,
that's right.
That is correct.
Yeah, so it does. In and of itself, it seems odd because you'd think that he's, and we've got plenty of history of sending 19-year-olds to division, championship or Division 1 teams. But that's, I think, the reason why he went.
Pritchard did really well at Brentford with Warburton. Warburton is now at Rangers, and we're expecting Ottawa will do well for them. I'm sure that there's some sort of bonus there if Rangers can get promoted. There's something going on behind the scenes,
Yeah.
And it makes sense, Warburton is a good manager. I think he might be able to bring Rangers up. Not that I pay attention to the Scottish League at all, but if Rangers are not in the first division of the Scottish League, I think that no one even remotely cares outside of Scotland. Sorry for anyone that's listening that is going to just berate.
No, that league is worse without Rangers. I mean, that league is stark to Celtic and Rangers, and no Rangers, and you've got less of a league than what you used to have. So you're absolutely right there, I think.
You do know. I'll give you a little history, guys. Back in the 80s. You didn't have a lot of replica kits showing up at the lane and scarves, and Spurs shop was kind of pitiful back then. But there was this. I know half and half scarves are kind of the bane of everyone's existence of the fair weather fan. But back in those days, you had bobble hats that had half and half, but they weren't of the games you went to see. It was who your affiliation was with in Scotland. And once you saw that Arsenal picked Celtic, it was a no-brainer that Tottenham picked Rangers. And you don't see it anymore, but back in the 80s, I saw it all the time at the lane. You'd see the lads with the half Spurs, half Rangers bobble hats. And so I follow Rangers, and I'm happy for them to beat the Fenians.
So speaking about teams, I'm sorry, Simon, or fuck Ken, for
What was that? Fuck Ken or
fuck Ken? No, thank you.
Oh wait,
that's already happening.
Well,
new girlfriend.
No, let's not go there.
Oh my God.
Love is in the air.
That's not how you wanted to segue into that topic.
For Americans, now that I want to bring up two things. One, thank God NBC extended their contract.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
And now that Fox has picked up a Bundesliga team, Simon, this is more for you. Is there a team that, as Spurs fans, we should look to? I'm sort of looking to Schalke.
It smacks of bandwagon. I've always been a Bayern fan because of Klinsmann.
You know what?
And because that's who he left us for in '95, and so I've always kind of followed Bayern. And again, don't get me wrong, I don't have 16 different teams that I follow. But I'll look for results on different teams. Whether it be Brentford or Bournemouth, places I've lived in the UK. Hell, I even follow. I look at Sydney FC's results because I lived there. But Bayern have become a juggernaut. Particularly in the last 20 years, I've been fortunate. I've been to the Allianz and I've seen them play there when Klinsmann was the manager. So I've had a soft spot for Bayern. So I hate to say it, I look for their results. I wish I could look for a lower league team. I even feel the same in Scotland. I'm reading In Search of Alan Gilzean, the great book written by our friend James Morgan. And I just started getting around to reading the book, and obviously, the affiliation there with Dundee, not Dundee United, because that was Gilly's team. And I've got a lot of time for Gilzean. I believe he was at the Lane Pat Jennings on Saturday, which to me that was the highlight of the day. The fact that Pat, Mullers, and Gilly were all there, and it's a great read, and to Ken, he loves Hearts because of Dave Mackay.
Yeah.
We pick, I think, these other clubs to look at. Right. We look at these other clubs based on some of our heroes of the past. And for me, Klinsmann of Munich. Rangers has a Spurs connection. Richard Goff and Graham Roberts and Paul Gascoigne. So, how many Spurs players play for Celtic?
You're the man on that one.
Alfie Kahn?
I don't know. I struggle. I really struggle. Like I don't know. I put so much energy into Spurs. I just
it has to be all Spurs. But you look for other clubs too.
No, like one,
of course.
Like you guys ever heard of St. Pauli? I love.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I have to.
I always look out for them.
Yeah.
Clubs like that.
It's a punk rock thing.
Exactly. So coming up. For me, I came up through the punk rock hardcore scene and stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s, all of that. So when I heard about St. Pauli, I was like, that's awesome. Too bad they're in Bundesliga 2, and I will literally never get to watch them on TV unless they get promoted.
And they got promoted, yeah?
No, they're not in the Bundesliga.
Well, no, but they did. They got promoted about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
2 up, and that was about that's.
They had their one season in the sun.
That's when I bandwagoned them. I was like, oh, they're pretty cool.
I think Dortmund is kind of fun to follow, just because the crowd is great. And Klopp is such a character.
If they sell us Sven Bender, I will be a Dortmund fan.
Dortmund has some fucking Nazis.
Sell us Bender, and I'll be a Dortmund fan.
The Dortmund's like the one thing about St. Pauli that I do like is that at least politically I can get behind them, and God, Dortmund and the rest of the Bundesliga have some fucking questionable supporters.
It's the only place it's the only Bundesliga venue that's on my bucket list. I'd love to see a match there. I have an Arsenal fan who went and said it's just an unbelievable.
Sit in the yellow wall, no less.
Oh wow!
Quick correction,
which we will have.
The Great White Wall. Quick correction, Nathan Ottawa off to Rangers, and I said he's been kind of compared to Pogba. That's Josh Onoma. I got the names mixed up because I guess they both begin with O, and they kind of sound the same.
Ottawa's the one that scored that one.
Yeah, Josh Onoma is the one that's being compared to a young Paul Pogba at the same age.
So I had not heard that comparison.
Yeah.
And the Ottawa Pogba, which I was like, that's fucking insane. I still stand by that. And Anoma Pogba, I think, is weak, but I would see how you'd say that. Ottawa Pogba, I'm going on record as that's the worst.
Yeah, that was just I misspoke.
But Ottawa was the one that had that ridiculous goal. It was an under-21 game, I guess, where he fake shot. He did like an on.
Oh God, that's
and then chipped the keeper.
Fine, man. That was amazing. That was amazing.
Oh, that's very Pogba-like. I know nothing about him. I haven't watched much about him. I heard his bright talent, but that's all about all I know.
All right, so let's take a quick minute. I mean, listen, we've talked about our capitulation, and we ended up with a draw. Chelsea looked absolutely awful today. I mean, as you know, we kind of like to point fingers and laugh when we can at other clubs. Mourinho, God bless him, his interviews make me laugh. We
watched his interview, right? Because it was fucking crazy.
And people are like, what was that thing you posted, Simon, or retweeted something today where somebody has done a voiceover like, your excuses are all shit. We have no intention of talking to you whatsoever. We're not going to ask you any questions. Yeah.
I think that was from You're Not Famous Anymore. They do some incredible videos. It's normally anti-Liverpool, but they did an anti-Chelsea one. At the minute I saw that, it was hilarious. It was fantastic. But you know what? It's karma for Chelsea. They had this big brouhaha with Eva, their doctor, this week, and I gotta think that Mourinho was in the wrong. He was caught on video calling her a blah 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 of a whore.
Let's not talk about that one.
Right, and they had the two injuries. They had to have the City doctors come on for Diego Costa. At first, I see Costa go down because it's always Costa going down, but it was a genuine injury.
Right.
Was it Fernandinho who got him in the head with the elbow? Meanwhile, Cahill still being attended to, the doctor with the moves on the sidelines. And
I thought that was a woman at first, by the way.
Well, they were some pretty tasty moves. But it was a bit of a
But his
farce.
tracky bottoms were so tight, I was like, oh, it's not a woman.
No Cameltoe.
Wait.
I couldn't miss it. No, I wasn't looking. It was obvious. You couldn't miss it.
San Diego being a bastion of like where women are invited.
Dude, you need to get the baggier shirt. Yeah. But it turned out to be a bit of a farce for Chelsea, and granted they were only 1-0 down, but City looked rampant, and whether it was because Chelsea looked like utter pony.
And Mourinho said they were the best team.
Well, you guys have to go read You guys have to go read the official Chelsea match report. It is absolutely hysterical. It starts with a Ramirez goal incorrectly ruled out for offside with Man City. A goal ahead changed the complexion of this early season Premier League fixture. And as they go through, and there's like 5 or 6 paragraphs, it's like they're describing a completely different game. Like it's almost like Mourinho's press conference.
So even the guy that is their Twitter person or whoever's doing their social media is fucking tapped. Great.
We dominated the interval after Ramirez goal. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's delusional, really.
Yeah, but hey, we had a reason to laugh at Arsenal last week. Now we have a reason to laugh at Chelsea, who are actually below us.
Yeah, great. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
And people say, we have no reason to slate other teams based on how we're doing. But when it's Chelsea or Arsenal or West Ham, we're going to milk that till the cows come home, because as utter crap as we may be right now, if they're faring worse, we're going to milk that. You just have to, because those days don't always come around.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that if you're going to talk about silver linings, we're above Chelsea. I mean, it's a long, long season. We know that at the end of the day,
36 games to go.
Yeah, it's gonna end in mini heartbreak for us, as it always does, and Chelsea will wind up near the top. But we can gloat for now. We are above you fucks.
And on that note, Sam, get me the hell out of here. We've been an hour and a half now. If there is still a tube strike going on, people will be able to listen to this on their way to work.
We found a partner in banter crime in the West Coast, so we've got overage today. But,
oh my gosh!
this was fun.
Yeah.
very much enjoyed our.
We got a lot covered too. I think the first hour, especially talking about the players and formations and whatnot, there was a lot of interesting talk going on.
And it was a time where it was kind of hard to organize things because it's just